We live in a society now where everything is airbrushed and only perfection is posted on social media. So we often forget that flaws and errors are not only normal, but they're very common. If you take a look at my camera roll right now, you'll probably see about 157 of the same picture of my son. Most of them, he's looking in the wrong direction, his hair is a mess, he's standing on a chair. But if you take a look at my social media pages, you would think he is this handsome angel who just poses perfectly like a model every time. I know you didn't take one single selfie before you posted it. Even my husband knows if he's taking a picture of me and my friends, he has to take at least 5 from higher up so we look thinner, and then we have to look again and reassess before he's done with the camera. So if this is the norm now, how does this translate to us as teachers in our classroom where we only have one shot live? It's inevitable that many of our lessons are going to turn out with a double chin. So, just like we're told to embrace our curves and our teaching and our freckles, I want to tell you about embracing your teaching mistakes. The thing is, I don't have to tell you it's okay to make a mistake. We all know it's okay to make a mistake, and we've made plenty of them. I'm not talking about exes, or when I thought I could pull off bangs. So why do I, like many of you here and many other teachers, feel the need to have the perfect classroom and the perfect lesson and the perfect assessment? Why is seeing other people make mistakes, why is that so comforting to us? Think if you go and watch the Rockettes at Radio City Music Hall. You watch in amazement at how perfectly synchronized every kick is. But a small part of you is watching to find one kick off. Or put yourself in my shoes. Imagine you were next, about to perform at MT². You're kind of hoping that the person before you switches up a few words. It would make me feel better. Thanks, Jude. We didn't do that. It's okay. Couldn't throw me a bone here. But that's probably how your students feel before they're about to present in the classroom, or even just when you call on them to answer a question. A few years ago, I was teaching about hyperbolas in my pre-calculus classroom. I had my lesson plan ready, notes, steps, slides. I was ready. Taught it before, I learned it in school. And a few minutes into the lesson, I was thrown off by a very expected question. The student asked, "Can you determine which way the hyperbola opens based on the larger denominator?" Without thinking, I said, "Yeah," moved on. Now, some of you right now are probably already realizing my mistake. But after all, I just taught ellipses, where the larger denominator determined if it was vertical or horizontal. But this had me thinking, why did I feel the need to say yes so fast? Was I not actually paying attention to the question? Was it overconfidence? Was I just so ready to get to my assessment and get through my lesson? So the period's over, and I'm second guessing myself. So I go in to talk with one of my colleagues, and that's when I confirmed I messed up. And when I told her this, she just giggled, goes, "Okay, go in there and tell them you messed up." I was so embarrassed. How was I supposed to go ahead and do that? Think about what you would do. Would you go in there and tell them you messed up? Of course, right now you're probably thinking, yeah, I would do that. It's so easy to say, yes, I would go in there and fix it. But think about actually going in there in front of your whole class and telling them you taught everything wrong. What if that was the day your administration walks in for an informal observation? I beat myself up about this all day. And you know how they always say, like, never go to sleep mad? Yeah, I went to bed mad at myself that night. After all, the lesson went so well. They would have never known. Okay. But I woke up the next morning and decided I should go in there and tell them I messed up. The 5 minutes that you give students to copy down the learning objectives and do the do now felt like an hour. So that was over. I went in there and I told them I made a mistake. I explained why it's a very common misconception, and I went back through all of the lessons examples. And the students, they didn't care. Yep. They didn't make me feel stupid. They weren't upset. They didn't throw a fit. It was fine. And that's what made me feel more comfortable with my students. In turn, they felt more comfortable with me. They participated more. They were willing to do the harder problems. And that's when I realized that my mistake made our bond grow stronger. In high school, I had a teacher that promised if he made 3 mistakes in any lesson, we wouldn't have homework. It was rare that there was a mistake, but when it was made, we were so into it. We were so excited. And thinking about how to capitalize on this is what's helping frame me as a teacher. How can I take my excitement then as a student and bring it into my classroom now to keep my students engaged? We all know it's essential to establish a classroom environment where students feel safe. Safe to be themselves, safe to talk in their groups, safe to present in front of the room, and safe to make mistakes. They honestly think that our lives are math and science, and that we're human calculators that live in our classroom just waiting to grade their assignments. So when they see us make a mistake, they see a little bit of themselves in us. And they see a possibility that one day they could understand the concepts and have a passion for the content like how we do. So I'm here to let you know that master teachers make plenty of mistakes too. If you think about how much we have to do in one class period, and just pair that with what personal things are already going on in our lives, we are so distracted. Making a mistake does not make you a bad teacher. Changing that mistake into something that could help you and your students grow is what makes you a really good teacher. I want to end with a shout out to my English teacher husband, because without him editing all this, I would have made many more mistakes during this time. So thank you. Thank you, guys.